There's 23 million unemployed people in this country. This administration hasn't done enough to cure that.
Clint Eastwood, a true Hollywood legend, has stood firm against the sway of changing trends and ideologies in the film industry. Throughout his career, he's taken a neutral stance on political and cultural correctness, staying true to his own principles. One of the most memorable moments in his journey came at the 1973 Oscars, where his actions captured widespread attention and became a defining chapter in his legacy.
If I should present this award on behalf of all the cowboys shot in all the John Ford westerns over the years.
That night, Marlon Brando famously declined his Oscar for The Godfather, sending Native American activist Joaquin Littlefeather to the stage to highlight Hollywood's poor treatment of Native Americans. The moment created a charged atmosphere, but Clint Eastwood didn't shy away from sharing his own perspective.
Concerned with the human dilemma and our confrontation with the fates. Human beings engulfed in a lunatic dictatorship. Men brutalized by their fellow men in a hostile river. Families ripping up their old...
Back in 1973, Clint Eastwood's remarks caused some ripples, but didn't spark major controversy at the time. However, nearly 50 years later, the story has resurfaced, drawing fresh outrage on social media. Many have criticized his comments as offensive and even racist, with calls for his cancellation spreading online. Despite the backlash, Clint remained unapologetic, and the attempt to cancel him quickly fizzled out.
What do you make of what happened tonight?
Well, listen, I think it depends on which side you're on in all of this. Obviously, people are going to try to find negatives if you're on the left.
Clint Eastwood grew up in an era when jokes were taken at face value, without being dissected for hidden meanings. He's also been clear about his refusal to align with any specific political stance, choosing instead to remain open to different perspectives rather than committing to a single ideology.
What do I care about? It's not the younger generation, it's the older generation now. The younger generation's fine.
The incident at the Oscars isn't the only reason Clint Eastwood has been a target of criticism from woke culture. Over the years, he has openly spoken out against political correctness, arguing that it undermines Hollywood's authenticity. While many in the industry tread carefully, Clint has remained firm in his beliefs. Now, in his later years, the veteran actor and director has made it clear that he's had enough of the political correctness that has taken over the entertainment world.
Correctness in a new Esquire magazine interview. Here's the quotes. Everybody's getting tired of political correctness. Kissing up. That's the kiss-ass generation we're in right now. Everybody's walking on edge.
Clint Eastwood's iconic career, marked by classics like Dirty Harry and Unforgiven, has cemented his reputation as Hollywood's ultimate tough guy. His unwavering perspective has kept him in the public eye for decades. But beyond his legendary roles, one of his most notable statements perfectly reflects his thoughtful and unapologetic attitude. Let's take a closer look.
Oh, you're gonna look awfully silly with that knife sticking up your ass.
Clint Eastwood's career embodies this mindset. From Unforgiven to Million Dollar Baby to American Sniper, he has consistently delivered bold, thought-provoking stories that dive deep into human nature. These are the kinds of films that once defined Hollywood, raw, authentic, and unafraid of criticism. But in today's entertainment industry, such daring storytelling is becoming a rarity, with the focus shifting towards safer, less controversial plots designed to avoid offending.
Are afraid to admit that they maybe made a mistake, so it's better to be overly defensive and just say, well, I'm voting for him again. I just tried to give people, when I was at the RNC.
Clint Eastwood has been vocal about his discontent with the direction Hollywood has taken. He's criticized modern filmmakers for prioritizing safety over risk, arguing that movies should mirror real life, even when it's uncomfortable or challenging to watch.
It's one of the real people, the real victims of it all, to get some sort of relief that the truth is put out.
Clint Eastwood's 2020 film, Richard Jewell, once again challenged mainstream narratives, telling the story of a man falsely accused by the media. The movie underscored Clint's commitment to tackling important, thought-provoking stories, even when they go against Hollywood's prevailing norms.
People can gang up against you for no particular reason, or they have just a small amount of information, and they just...
Clint Eastwood's resistance to Hollywood's political correctness goes beyond his films. It's a fundamental part of who he is. He's built a reputation for staying true to himself, choosing to live by his own rules in an industry where many are cautious and afraid of saying the wrong thing.
In your life, you thought, man, I need to make a film about this.
No, not until I read the whole story, the way he designed it, and the fact that he did kind of a spiritual take without making it a necessary.
Perfect example of this is Gran Torino, where Clint portrays a war veteran who slowly develops a bond with his immigrant neighbors. The film doesn't shy away from tough subjects, which only makes it more powerful. His character's bluntness mirrors Clint's own outlook on life. He's less concerned with showing perfect characters and more focused on depicting the raw, unfiltered reality of human experience.
Cultural thing, it expresses embarrassment or insecurity. It's not that they're laughing at you or anything.
You people are nuts.
Even before Gran Torino was released, it was expected to stir controversy, but Clint wouldn't have it any other way. He's never backed down from addressing tough topics, regardless of how the so-called woke audience might.
I liked the character because he's a guy who, I like playing the character because he's a guy who's old school, he's from another generation, he's haunted by some of the things in his past, but he's also, he talks to people in a way that people used to talk.
Well, I think you're an overeducated 27-year-old version.
Despite his success, Clint Eastwood has never conformed to Hollywood standards. He refuses to cater to the right people or simply repeat expected opinions to fit in. His steadfast refusal to change has only cemented his legendary status in the industry. Even as he steps away from the spotlight, Clint remains a symbol of defiance, undeterred by critics who call him irrelevant. At 94, he's still focused on making films and speaking his truth. Clint continues to direct with the same passion he's had throughout his career, earning respect from younger actors who admire his commitment to telling meaningful, authentic stories.
Did two things wrong. One is you asked a question, and two is you asked another question.
This kind of certainty comes but just once in a lifetime.
Every gun makes its own tune.
An accident is fate. Murder
Did a beautiful job with it.
He did a fine job. No, I love the guy. No, seriously. Bolt. No. I say that because he's like, it's like, guess what? Mount Rushmore just came down from South Dakota, and you're working for him now.
I liked the character because he's a guy who, I like playing the character because he's a guy who's old school, he's from another generation, he's haunted by some of the things in his past, but he's also, he talks to people in a way that people used to talk.
Well, I think you're an overeducated 27-year-old version.
In an era where many are afraid to speak up, Clint Eastwood remains a strong, unwavering voice. He refuses to be silenced and keeps challenging Hollywood's norms. While the industry may try to push him aside, Clint Eastwood isn't going anywhere. What do you think? Is Eastwood a relic of the past, or is he the voice Hollywood needs today? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.